So this bone we see here is our medial forearm bone. It looks kind of like a wrench from the lateral view, you can see here. This one is the ulna. And I always tell students, if they're trying to figure out if it's the ulna or the radius, the ulna has a U in it on the proximal end. So with the ulna, just like we did before, I'm going to turn it up in this view, and we're going to start on the anterior view at the proximal end and then switch to the distal view. So on the proximal end of the ulna, that's where our little wrench U shape can be found. And let me take this sticker off here. So what we can see, and I'm going to turn it to the side, this little crook is known as the trochlear notch. This actually is what fits into the trochlea, that condylar surface on the distal end of the humerus. Here, this is known as the coronoid process. It's just kind of a little horn-shaped point on the anterior view. And this one is the olecranon process. So it's kind of the bumpy end of your elbow that you can feel on yourself. So olecranon process, coronoid process, trochlear notch. Now the radius creates a pivot joint which allows us to create a special movement of our forearm called pronation and supination. So this little divot here is known as the radial notch. This is just where the radial head fits to form that pivot joint. Just like other long bones, you have a shaft or diaphysis, and at the distal end of the ulna, we call the whole thing the head, and we do have a little process that sticks out more on the medial side called the styloid process. Yes, it's the same name that you see in the skull, it just means that it's more of a pointed process. So that's on the distal end. So, trochlear notch, olecranon process, coronoid process, shaft, head, styloid process.